Last week, a judge ruled that the writings of a mass shooter from the Covenant school shooting will not be revealed. What does this mean? I'll break it down. Also in the news, Biden tells Democrats that he needs to sleep more and work less. He's already sleeping until 10 and taking an afternoon nap at 2 p.m. All of that and more on today's episode.
Facts over tracks, isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast? I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Now, of course, Joe Biden just wants to keep on sleeping, but before we reveal that, a Tennessee judge just ruled against releasing writings of a trans-identifying Covenant school shooter. Now, obviously, this happened last year in March. There was a manifesto that the mass shooter actually had planned. What she had done was she planned out her whole entire day. She said exactly the reason why she wanted to commit a mass shooting at this specific school. But the judge in Tennessee will not allow us to actually get that information because of the fact that they're trying to cover it up. There's a whole entire ideal in the Democrat circles about not revealing anyone that is going against their ideology to be doing anything bad whatsoever. If there is somebody that is revealed to be doing something bad in their corner, then they just don't talk about it. They don't talk about it at all, and they not only don't talk about it, but they actively silence other people from talking about the situation. So it's not even just them that is not talking about the situation. They demand you not to talk about the situation either. So this is a very disappointing situation, obviously, and we the people deserve to know exactly what happened at the Covenant school that resulted in the mass shooting. We the people deserve to know why this happened and what medicines this person was on, so we ourselves can get off the medicines if that is the problem here. What is the problem? Is it the medicines? Is it the cocktail of drugs that this person was on, or is it the ideology that she believed in, or what is it? Like, we would like to know. We're the people of America, we deserve to know so we can keep ourselves safe. But of course, the FBI will not allow us to take in that information, and slowly pages get leaked here and pages get leaked here, but we never get the full manifesto and the full diary. And it's discussing in the leaked version, the leaked pages that we have seen are just more and more disturbing, It goes on top of each other, It's just crazy, and you start to see into the mind of this mass shooter, and you see all of the ideology that she believed in and all of the lies she believed in. So, in a ruling released at 11:58 p.m. local time, Davidson County Judge Alicia Miles said that the copyright claims put on the writings of the woman who attacked the Covenant school prompted public records requests. Miles also sided with Metro Nashville Police, who have so far refused to release its investigative file on the shooting, citing its ongoing investigation. But what investigation is taking place? Because the shooter is dead, number one, so the shooter can't defend herself. Why would she want to defend herself anyway? She's a mass shooter. That's number one. But number two, what investigation is going on? You already know exactly what happened. We saw all the body cam footage. We saw all the Nashville police rush into the school and try to save all of the students immediately. Within 3 or 4 minutes or so, the killer was already killed. So what is it that they're investigating here? It's an open and shut case. This is what happened. There was a mass shooter. We killed the shooter, and that's it. What's the investigation? What, you're seeing exactly why the shooter shot people in the first place? Yeah, that's in the manifesto that you guys are taking and hiding. But I don't think it's the police. I think that the police department would like to, but they're being forced by the FBI to not release all of this information because they were about to release this information, if you do remember, back in 2023. But then all of a sudden, the FBI stepped in and the FBI told them not to do so. So I don't think it is really the Nashville Police Department. I think it's more on the FBI, the federal side of the FBI, that is telling them not to do so. That's what I believe, at least. Based upon supremacy clause in conflict preemption, the Federal Copyright Act serves as a valid exemption to the Tennessee Public Records Act and thus prompts the disclosure of any original work or authorship in any form created by the assailant's shooter's last name, which has been collected by respondent Metro, Miles wrote. The ruling in the latest development is an ongoing legal battle over the writings, which began soon after the school was attacked last year. Multiple parties, including the Tennessee Firearms Association, the Tennessean, the Tennessee Star, Republican State Legislator Todd Garnhire, and the National Police Association, sued the city of Nashville last year to gain access to the writings. So you're telling me, yeah, and see, I was right then. The National Police Association is on the opposite side of the city of Nashville. That's how you know you, the city of Nashville, are in the wrong here. You need to allow the writings to be revealed to at least these organizations. The Tennessee Firearms Association, they need to make sure that everybody's safe. The National Police Association, they're making sure that their police officers are trained and know how to handle cases like this in the future. What's the city of Nashville doing? It's because of the fact that the city of Nashville is held under the guides and the pressure of the federal FBI. So of course, the city of Nashville can't comply as much as they would like to because of the fact that they have to comply with the FBI. That's exactly why the FBI has to get overhauled. It's not going to get it needs to be replaced. Yeah, I mean 100% it needs to be replaced. The Federal Bureau of Investigations needs to actually be strictly to the work. Okay, you need to sit here and say, okay, what is this? Is this solution to the problem, the proposed solution, actually fixing the problem, or is it causing more havoc? And then we need to get rid of it if it's not fixing the problem. And then we need to introduce more rules and regulations on the FBI side for actually going in and surveying American citizens. We need to go and overhaul that and say, okay, is this helping, or is this helping, or is this helping? Is this person helping, or is this person helping? Fire people, get rid of people, and then replace them with better people that are more equipped for the job. Get rid of the DEI stuff, get rid of all that. We need to actually hire people that are good for the job, because it's the FBI at the end of the day. You need to make sure that you're stopping any potential mass shootings, and you need to make sure that that when a mass shooting does happen, all the information gets revealed so then the people can prepare for this and know exactly what's going on. That's exactly why the FBI should be there, but of course they're not acting in that way for some strange reason. With that being said, we do have another article from the Daily Wire. Biden tells Democrats he needs to sleep more and work less. It's just my brain, this old man says. President Joe Biden told Democrat governors this week that he needs to be sleeping more and working less. And he needs to stop doing events at night after his embarrassing showing during last week's presidential debate. Okay, so the old man was sleepy. Is that what he's saying? The New York Times reported that Biden acknowledged to the governors that he was having fatigue issues, a stark contradiction to what the White House staffers claims in recent days as they seek to quell forces from inside the party that are trying to push him out, as polls showed former President Donald Trump with a contending lead over him. And the overwhelming majority of voters believe that he is too old to be president. Biden told governors that he is staying in the race as he blamed his poor performance on trips that he took weeks prior to the debate, which does not make any sense. Biden said that he told his staff that he needed to get more sleep. The report said he repeatedly referenced pushing too hard and not listening to his team about his schedule, and said that he needed to work fewer hours and avoid any events after 8 p.m. So that's exactly why people went to KJP, the Karine Jean-Pierre, and said, well, does Joe Biden take an afternoon nap every single day? And she doesn't answer the question here. And of course, when he went to Camp David to prepare for the debate, he was taking naps and never starting any debate before 11 a.m. And the press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, refused to answer any questions along this matter. But that's because of the fact that Joe Biden is senile, Joe Biden is old, and he's losing his mind. And it's sad. It's sad to see a president of America losing his mind. But the thing is, at the same exact time, I say Joe Biden needs to stay in the race. Joe Biden, if you're hearing this, you're not going to hear this. Stay in the race. As much as I don't agree with your politics, I think that you have the right to know what you're going to do with your own presidency. And if you want to stay in the race, I say stay in the race. Joe, I believe in you. I say that you should stay in the race because you're facing against former President Trump, right? Yeah, you're forcing yourself in this predicament, and I feel like you have the ultimate say whether you stay in the race or not. So I say stay in the race. Joe Biden, stay in the race, because it's going to be one very interesting day in November when a surprise person comes to visit you and you end up losing the election. A surprise person like Donald Trump on the ballot. I'm saying that Joe Biden should stay in the race because of the fact that he's polling so negatively against former President Trump that former President Trump will just overtake him in the polls, overtake him on the election day, and President Trump will win and become president again. So I want Joe Biden to stay there because the enemy that you know is better than the enemy you don't. So from this point onwards, I think, yes, 100%. All of these things about Joe Biden, I think that we should just hold these until after Joe Biden becomes the nominee and stays in the race afterwards. Now, as for right now, he says he is staying in the race, so I don't know if he is going to continue to stay in the race. But as far as I know, I think that he should stay in the race because it's very important for him to do whatever he wants to do, right? Right. Okay, so moving into the next article, Biden contradicts White House press secretary, and he says that he had a medical exam after the debate. Biden said that he reportedly told a group of Democratic governors on Wednesday that he saw a medical doctor after last week's debate against former President Donald Trump, contradicting a statement made by the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, on the same exact day. 3 people with knowledge of Biden's private meeting with more than 20 Democratic governors said Biden informed them that he was examined by a doctor after the debate, adding that the doctor gave him all the clear, Politico reported. The president's meeting with the governors took place as some Democrats and political commentators expressed concern about the president's fitness and ability to continue his re-election campaign following the debate performance. During a White House press briefing on Wednesday, Jean-Pierre told CNN senior White House correspondent MJ Lee that Biden has not undergone any kind of medical exam since his annual physical in February. We were able to talk to his doctor about that, and that is a no, press secretary said. He has not had any medical exam, Lee asked again. Jean-Pierre simply noted no. Lee wrote on X Thursday morning after another White House spokesperson, Andrew Bates, confirmed that Biden was examined by his doctor in the days following the last week's debate to check on his cold, and he was recovering well. A White House official adds that Biden was seen by a doctor after the debate. It was a brief check, not a physical. My question yesterday was whether he had gotten another physical, Lee added. In an interview that aired on Wednesday on a Wisconsin radio show, the president acknowledged that he screwed up his debate performance, but urged voters to focus on what he's been doing during the time that he's been in the White House. Yeah, focus on what he's been doing. Like, failing the withdrawal of Afghanistan, getting American troops killed in the process, focus on that. Focus on all of the money that you pay when you go to the supermarkets. Focus on that. Focus on the gas prices. Focus on natural gas prices that you pay to just run your stove and your heating. Focus on the electric prices. Focus on the economy. Focus on the interest rates. Yeah, focus on all of those things. Focus on the state of the world that's collapsing. Multiple countries are getting invaded because Joe Biden is not a powerful leader. Focus on all of those things. And I urge you to actually consider Joe Biden to be president again right after all of these things get destroyed. Do you want him to be president again? I think the Democrats would love to ruin this country. That's exactly why they would want Joe Biden to be running again. That's the only reason, because they hate the country. So with that being said, we do have another article from the Daily Wire. We have, can Americans trust Biden's physician to be honest about the president's health? Experts say no. President Biden's doctor at the White House is a family friend and a one-time business partner of the president's brother, ties that warrant serious skepticism of his integrity, according to the experts. White House physician Kevin O'Connor, a primary source of information on the president's health and administration, has relied on to deflect questions about his fitness, wrote in a letter on Monday that Biden has not seen a neurologist outside of his annual physician, despite records showing a Parkinson's disease expert visiting the White House multiple times in the past year. Which, of course, because of the fact that he has serious mental concerns and he has serious problems about his ability to, govern, people are really doubting his ability to actually have coherent thoughts and his mental fitness and stuff like that. But instead of him actually reassuring the people and saying, listen, I don't have any disease, stuff like that, he, instead of seeing a Parkinson's doctor, because we all know what's going on here, he's going senile, he's going crazy, and he needs to see more and more doctors because he is going crazy. So the thing is, why are we going to sit here and just allow the media to take a stronghold and the media to take the media spin on this? We know why Joe Biden's seeing the doctors. We know exactly what Joe Biden is going through, dementia or Parkinson's or some kind of dementia. And it's a sad thing seeing the president of America go through this. And some people are saying, well, other presidents in history had like mono and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think that's true, number one. But number two, if other presidents in the world's history, or other presidents in American history at least, had other diseases, did they ever affect their mental capacity? And if they did, then did they step down? What did they do while they're in office? Did they tell the people that they were suffering this? Did they try to hide it up? And then we would have to go back and say, well, was this honest of them to do so? So yeah, just because somebody else did it in America's history, if there was a president that did it, it doesn't mean that it should happen again. And it doesn't mean that it was right for them to do so. This, again, is a very upsetting thing. Again, this is the president of America. And it's just a pathetic thing. It's very sad. It's very sad, yes, because of the fact that we need the president of America to be sharp, on his toes, and exactly knowing what to do when he needs to do it. So for him to completely ignore all of this and go along with the presidency, even though he has all of these mental disorders, is not good for the country. But again, if he does step down, then we get laughing Kamala, which obviously is not a good person whatsoever because she's lied herself through politics and only failed upwards. So yeah, that's obviously not a person that we want in the seat. So I don't want Joe Biden to step down. I just want him to lose so we don't get Kamala, we don't get Joe Biden, we don't get anybody like that. So with that being said, we're going to be digging into the headlines of the week. So digging right in, we actually have a Federalist article. We have Chinese spying facilities in Cuba signal America's new Cold War. China has likely upgraded and expanded its spying facilities in Cuba, posing potentially severe implications for the United States. China has likely upgraded and expanded its spying facilities in Cuba, according to a new report by the American think tank. The report not only confirms that a Cold War between China and the United States has already started, but it also raises new concerns that China may be aiming to bring it to America's doorstep, posing potentially severe and grave implications. The Center for Strategic and International Studies, the CSIS, a Washington, D.C. based think tank, produced a study as a follow-up to the Wall Street Journal's reporting last year that revealed China has secretly agreed to pay cash strapped Cuba several billions of dollars to establish a Chinese electronic eavesdropping facility on the island. The facility is likely to be used for intercepting communications and gathering intelligence on the United States and its allies, according to CSIS. Probably not wanting the news to disrupt the Biden administration's approach to Beijing, the White House intentionally insisted that the journal's report was inaccurate. Yet 2 days later, the United States official confirmed that Cuba had a spy base in Cuba. China had a spy base in Cuba since 2018. So they've had this for 4 years now. So not even 5 years now. So what's going on here? We need to actually sit here and say, okay, well, did Joe Biden do anything? The Biden administration then claimed that it had taken steps to slow down Beijing's efforts to expand its intelligence gathering without elaborating on those steps. Yeah, because Biden does not care. There's 4 spy stations. The CSIS's investigation identified 4 electronic spying stations in Cuba that have been upgraded and expanded. Beijing, Calabrazor, Huajar, and Huaje in the previously unknown El Celo. For example, by comparing satellite images, CSIS noticed that the site of Huaje has gradually expanded over the last 20 years, growing from just an antenna and several buildings in 2002 to a robust complex today. It now hosts 12 antennas of various sizes and orientations. Strategic motivation. Obviously, there's motivation high level exchanges. Decisive action needs to be taken immediately. Of course, 100%. So, but the thing is Joe Biden going to take this decisive action? Or does he even have the ability to think about this and think about why this is bad? No, because he does not care whatsoever. Moving into the next article, a French election proves elites will burn a country down rather than let the right win. Of course, because in Cuba and in France and stuff like that, they're just going down the drain. They're just allowing money to take a grip hold, and they're not letting the people decide exactly what to do. So, of course, in France, I would not go there anytime soon. They're getting completely destroyed from the inside out, and they need to understand what's happening with their country before anything really bad happens, because they're going to be following the same exact line as all of these other nations that follow left-wing politics, and left-wing politics is not good for family structure. Left-wing politics is not good for actually living your daily life. Left-wing politics is here for me, and feel good. That's it. That's left-wing politics for you in a nutshell. After a promising first-round lead, France's right-wing National Rally Party came up short on the second round of the country's legislative election. It ultimately came in third for seats in the National Assembly, France's lower house, behind left-wing coalition New Popular Front, NFP, and the French President Emmanuel Macron's centrist alliance, Ensemble. More than 30,000 contendants in the first round proceeded to a three-way runoff involving National Rally, NFP, and Ensemble. If those three-way races had gone ahead, National Rally had a decent chance of winning a majority in the second round. In response to the threat, more than 200 candidates from both Ensemble and NFP withdrew from those three-way races ahead of the second round. In response to that threat, more than 200 candidates from both Ensemble and NFP withdrew from those three-way races ahead of the second round to prevent splitting the vote and giving the victory to the National Rally. In some instances, Macron had to pressure Ensemble candidates to drop out to give the advantage to the NFP candidates. So the leftists and centrists colluded to game France's electoral system and ensure the right-wing party had no chance at power. No single party won an outright majority in this election, so the nation will require a governing coalition. The National Assembly requires 289 seats for a majority. The NFP won 182 seats, Ensemble 163, National Rally 143, and the Republicans, France's center-right party, just 39. Yeah, because France has gone all the way off the deep end, and they're allowing their country to be taken over by people that do not care about their country, and do not care about law and order, and do not care about the rule of law whatsoever, because of the fact that they just want to ruin the country. They hate the country, they want to ruin the country, just like how American politics works. And it's just more severe over there, because it's not so much in the balance. It's whoever governs gets to decide on everything. So yeah, so I'm very good on that. And I think that we should have a peek at what happens with France over the next couple of months. And if you're an undecided voter, you need to decide what's happening with France. And you need to say, listen, if this is what I want America to look like, then I'll vote for Joe Biden and the Democrats. If you want the country to look really good and tidied up and fixed up and caring about law and order, then you're going to vote for a Republican. So that's exactly what's going to have to happen here. But with that being said, we're going to end off this episode here. If you did like my deep dive on this, I really wish that I could keep going on this, but I am kind of running out of time because we are getting ahead of ourselves in the time aspect of this. But with that being said, thank you all for watching, thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. If you did enjoy this episode, I do post new episodes of my show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching, thank you all for listening, and I hope they have a great rest of your day. Bye.